I'd like to take you through a little bit of perhaps the classic standard ballad that jazz musicians have played throughout the years, made famous by Coleman Hawkins, one of the first modern jazz solos on the saxophone, Body and Soul. So some things that I'll try to keep in mind. First of all, melody on fourth and fifth fingers. Second of all, lots of moving parts. When we take a look at Bach chorales, we will notice that everything is in four voices. So if we want to build four voices, which sounds perhaps a little difficult for you, make sure that we really know the melody, make sure that we really know the harmony. And the easiest voice to add is the alto. So if you really know the soprano and the bass, then the alto voice, which is the lower part of your right hand, thumb, 2 and 3, generally speaking, that's when you can start maybe adding some melodic and rhythmic interest. So one way to do this would be like this. Once we get our three voices going, and we do this for 20 minutes, we set our little timers, then we start to think about, okay, how can we add a fourth voice? So the way that I would do it is go back to what we did with just playing each chord as marked with a short sound, playing 4-note chords and trying not to double any notes in the chord. So this is just what I think, but I think kind of the worst chord in the world is this. That's really tragic. Now, it's one thing if it's the end of a Beethoven symphony. Okay, I get it. But in jazz, that's pathetic. Okay, this is the next most pathetic one. That's crappy. Now, if you take those same pitches, though, and move them around, that's rather nice. It's actually very nice. This is third worst. So you have worst, second worst, third worst. Okay? What I did here, right? The reason that that sounds good is because of the way that the piano resonates. The overtone series, this C, if you're a piano tuner, you're hearing this G, you're hearing this E, you're hearing all the way that the piano overtone series works. So if you play congested chords, okay, it's going to make it very difficult for your right hand to do anything very interestingly, but it's also gonna sound kind of thin and well, pathetic, sad. So those are not great. If you have to do something, better do that or you know. But when you play chords that are tight and close, you they have a problem. So if we're playing body and soul and we start with okay, right there, you got a double. Okay, whenever you're doubling notes, it actually sounds thinner than when you're not doubling the notes. So trying to double as few notes as I can and also have some little melodic voices going on in the middle. So we don't want to start with this. We want to start with this and add something on top. That's very nice. So we have stacks of fifths and some fourths and sixths. Or that's just 2 stacks of fifths. And pianos love that. They sound beautiful when you do that. That doesn't sound to me as nice as this does. Same notes. So if we're going to play in 4 voices, we don't want to double as many. We want to double as little as possible. So let's go back to half step, whole step in the 5th finger, up or down, changing the root every time there's another chord, and trying not to double, okay? So what we might get is this. So I'm not doubling any notes in there. I had to think for a second. These kind of little experiments are like kind of painting yourself into a corner and then figuring out how to wiggle out of it, you know. Because with the restriction of the half and whole step in the top, it's kind of like a chess match, you know. The rook can only move up 1 square and over 2, whatever that is. It can't go diagonally. And here you can't jump around. You can't do that. So you kind of have to play from where you are. And this gets to the subject of voice leading, which is also something that I hope to be talking about. But so we're doing 4-note chords. Sorry, I doubled there, but that's the idea. Then what we start to do, as we have seen with the Bach chorales, is we start to stagger those voices so that there are moving 8th notes, generally speaking, in the alto and tenor. So if I were to play body and soul in the Bach style of a Bach chorale, not playing the melody, just playing the harmony, this is maybe what I would play.